This was supposed to be a routine domestic call, mother and son arguing. Officers had responded to similar situations dozens of times before, but what they found inside would stay with them for years.
Hey, let go of my fucking door, man. Y'all need to take him.
Make me.
Y'all need to take him.
Make me.
Y'all need to get him.
Make me.
Y'all need to take him. Take his ass.
Probably no answer.
On a quiet afternoon, dispatch received a call from a mother reporting that her 13-year-old son had become physically aggressive. She wanted him removed from the home. The call came in as a standard domestic disturbance, parent-child conflict that required police intervention to de-escalate. Officers arrived expecting to mediate an argument, separate the parties, and possibly transport the juvenile to a facility if necessary. The mother met them at the door, visibly upset, demanding they take her son away. The boy was angry, defensive, shouting from inside. Standard procedure, routine call, but nothing about what came next was routine.
You ain't coming back in this house.
You started with me first.
I'm done. Take his ass to jail. You're going where you want to be.
And I'm gonna kill you when I come out next time.
Hey, you ain't coming out. You don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Let go of his foot. Let go of his foot.
Female detained at 1608.
He the one doing the screaming or she one? He's the one screaming. Well, I need one of you to stand by with him.
Was he hitting her when you got here?
Huh?
He was hitting her as soon as you got here?
Yeah.
At 1609.
They taking it, man. Hold on, he's coming down, sir. Hold on. Hey, bro.
Who's in there?
Hold on, he's pulling the dogs up.
I'm pulling the kid. Pulling the family like this.
Y'all taking him, and he ain't coming back in here.
We'll get there. Can you just tell me what happened?
Yeah, so he's been slick out the mouth all day. Real slick, real nasty, you, all this stuff. And I tell him to leave me alone. So I was out here on the bed minding my own business. I want to go cook cookies. So I sat up there and he gonna try to snatch him out of my hand. So then he goes to try to antagonize and still provoke the situation, sit on the bed. I asked him, can you please remove yourself? I don't want to talk to you. You don't need to be around me right now with how you talking to me. I've had multiple issues with him putting hands on me. He's sitting up there off the bed. I asked him to move and he's not moving. I said, you need to move from out my premises right now. I don't want to speak to you. So I pushed him off of my bed. He gonna turn around, put his phone down and come and swing on me. And that's when I choked his ass the out because he was pulling my hair and trying to still hit me. His stepdad in there right now could be a witness to everything.
Okay.
What's going on with you, my man? Why are you upset?
I told her to put my damn shoes down. I tried to grab my basketball shoes to tell her to put her down. She wanted to push me, so I put my head back on her. That's when the fight started happening.
She punched you, you said? Over some shoes?
No, it was just me and her. She had me in a chokehold.
So did you hit her?
Yeah, but she touched me first. I didn't try.
What did she do when she touched you?
She put my shoes. I took my phone in my room.
You threw your phone in the room? And then what?
Then I went back out there. That's when me and her started throwing hands, and then she had me in a chokehold.
So who threw the hands first?
Her.
What did she do?
Pushed me, then when I came back out, I swung on her.
So she pushed you, like telling you to go back to your room or what?
Like a full-on push.
So she just pushed you?
And that irritated me, and then after
So then
that,
you just punched her with your fist? You know your parents are allowed to do corporal punishment, right? So if they're giving you some kind of guidance and they're telling you, hey, stop doing this or go to your room or whatever.
She didn't tell me to stop. That's the thing.
But you just said you guys were verbally arguing, and then that's when she pushed you.
The mother's voice carried desperation and frustration as officers approached. Inside, they could hear the boy shouting. One officer moved toward the doorway while another spoke with the mother outside, attempting to gather information about what had happened. The exchange escalated quickly. Through the open door, officers could see movement. The boy was agitated, refusing to calm down. One officer entered to separate them. The boy's response was immediate and hostile. An officer moved to detain him before the situation could escalate further. The boy resisted briefly, still shouting, but was quickly placed in handcuffs and escorted outside. Standard procedure for an aggressive juvenile: remove the threat, separate the parties, interview witnesses. But as one officer walked the boy to the patrol car, another remained inside to speak with the mother. That's when everything changed. The officer's voice was professional, controlled, but something in his tone shifted as he moved deeper into the apartment. The smell hit first, overwhelming, unmistakable, the kind of smell that makes you stop breathing through your nose. The apartment was a disaster, garbage everywhere, layers of filth covering every surface. But it was the boy's room that stopped him cold.
At least you're gonna go somewhere a lot cleaner, okay? I know you're going to juvie, but just from standing outside, I wouldn't even want to be in there, okay? So we're gonna get it figured out. The house is disgusting.
The condition is horrible.
Yeah, can you fix the cuffs too?
Step out real quick. Let me fix the cuffs for you, alright? Face that way.
You said he messed up his room, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a little
So-
messy 'cause we just moved, but he
All
broke my
good.
TV. He,
So I just need to go in there and verify you got
That's fine.
electricity, running water, food.
It's messy.
You said you have cats?
Yeah, I got cats.
All right.
I'm not going to, but she kept saying she was gonna sell my Xbox, the TV that she bought, and after that she tried to steal my shoes that I was gonna use for school.
The officer pushed open the door. Animal feces covered the floor, dried, stepped on, ground into the carpet. The bed had no sheets, no blankets, just a bare mattress stained with things that shouldn't be on a mattress. The smell was suffocating. Flies buzzed everywhere. In one corner, 3 dogs were crammed into a single cage, sitting in their own waste. In the closet, snake cages were stacked floor to ceiling. The officer backed out of the room slowly. The boy's voice came from the patrol car outside. A year. The boy's response was quiet. The officer stood in the doorway for a moment longer. Then he walked back outside, past the mother still arguing with another officer about why her son needed to be arrested, and directly to his sergeant. His voice was steady, but the weight of it was unmistakable. He's literally living in the middle of the room with no bedding.
You go in there?
How long have you been living like that? How long have you been living like that?
Nearly a year, I think.
Like a year?
Nearly.
How bad is it?
We have
Dude, you got poop all over your room and stuff. Like a lot of poop. I can't breathe in that house.
You can take him out of cuffs. Just leave him in the car. I'm gonna call a sergeant.
Yeah, bro. Hey, what I seen in there is the worst thing I've ever seen. So just stay in the car for us. We'll figure everything out, alright, bud?
Hey, sergeant, can you come over to the scene? I think I'm gonna have to arrest both the parents for neglect, and I haven't looked up exactly charge, but like the house in there is disgusting.
He's living in feces.
Like there's shit all over his room and bed and all over the house. You can smell it from the outside. Okay.
Bro, he's literally living in feces with no bedding. His room is like it's inhumane. There's drugs everywhere.
1622.
Like, I'm traumatized by what I just seen.
I could smell it from the outside. And all the mom, I don't know how he's not covered in
Bed bugs.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You might even have animal cruelty. There's 3 dogs inside of 1 cage living in feces. Bro, as a dad of a 10-year-old boy, that shit breaks my heart. It's disgusting. I would be losing my mind too, bro. Like, you're living in inhumane conditions. There's a bunch of snake crates in his closet, stacked up one.
Snakes in there?
Huh?
Snakes in there?
I think so. Inside the closet. I'm telling you, it's probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
The sergeant walked to the patrol car where the boy sat in handcuffs. He crouched down to eye level. The boy didn't respond, just stared straight ahead. Whatever happens today, I'm sorry. Try to get you some help. All right? Whatever happens, get through it and let's restart over. All right. The boy nodded slightly. His anger had evaporated. What remained was exhaustion.
Hey, whatever happens today, I'm sorry for everything that you've been having to go through, all right? You shouldn't be living that way, all right? And I feel for you, I really do, all right? I'm sorry you have to live that way, all right? You're gonna do the best you can.
When I was younger, it hurt like real bad.
I got you. Give me a hug, man. I'm sorry, okay? Alright? Try to get you some help, alright? Whatever happens, get through it, and and let's restart over, all right?
The mother was still outside, smoking, unaware that the situation had shifted entirely. One officer approached her carefully. Her cigarette stopped halfway to her mouth. She was placed in handcuffs. The realization began to dawn on her face. The officer's response was calm, factual. She tried to explain work schedules, exhaustion, the boy's refusal to help, but the officer's response was measured and final. The mother was transported to jail. The boy was transported to juvenile detention. Child Protective Services were contacted. The animals were removed. The apartment was documented, photographed, and added to a growing case file.
Just go ahead and stay outside.
I can't put this back in my house. Why can't I
Just
go
keep
back?
it
Why can't I go in my household though?
Just keep it outside.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
So why can't I go in my
Because
household?
I'm telling you not to.
Why though?
Because you're being detained right now.
For what?
Criminal charges for child neglect.
For neglect?
Yeah.
For what? He's not
It's
neglected.
disgusting in there.
Okay. I'm not the only person that lives there.
You said you are.
Me and him do, and he just got kicked out a week ago. Yeah.
Ma'am, can I talk to you real quick?
I'm talking to my dad because he just told me I'm being detained, so I just want someone to know.
Okay. Well, no problem. Can you do me a favor, put out the cigarette?
Can I finish smoking it first before y'all put me in handcuffs?
2 quick puffs.
Okay.
Deep puffs for me. Okay.
Yep, because CJ gonna lie on them.
So, ma'am, I'll explain everything to you.
Okay.
The reason you're being detained and the reason you're going to be placed under arrest for child neglect is because of the living condition.
There's
get that.
food in the house, he has clean clothes, there's water, there's all of that. I need to make sure that my car gets back here first before anything.
But we will work on that. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and place you in handcuffs. Do me a favor, put the cigarette out.
Can I get some pants on? I know. Can y'all give me some pants?
Not this second. We'll grab them in a second and let you switch out.
Hey, come on, they're taking me to jail.
Sir, do me a favor, just hang out here for a second. Child neglect.
Child neglect?
Yeah.
She ain't no child neglect. What's the child neglect?
Hold on.
What's the child neglect?
The living conditions are horrible inside the house. Okay. So,
He don't clean.
well, it's still part of her
When you tell him to
responsibility.
clean, he don't clean.
He's a juvenile.
He can clean too. If you can eat,
But
you can clean.
I get that. I understand that, right? But it's not only hang out by the car. This one right here, the first one.
Just leave it. It's fine. Just take care of the animals, please.
I'm going to walk over it.
The actual living room itself is in the same condition as his room, and his room isn't great. Okay, the living room is not great. It's hard, and I get it, right? Sometimes we're in these predicaments where we don't have the ability necessarily to take care of everything that we'd like to.
We both work.
Okay, well, perfect, all right? But at the end of the day...
So that's his job. That's his job.
But yes.
To maintain the house, take out the trash. You don't want to do that.
But at some point, the parents have to step
Come on. You don't do that. You 13.
Yeah,
You're a teenager.
I get that. But at some
We
point...
can't do everything. We tired when we come home.
Yeah, I get that. But at some point, something has to take place because...
And that's why she called y'all. This is the second time he done swung on her.
Okay, when we're addressing that, okay, but as we're addressing that, we'll also have the issue of the deplorable living conditions. All right, man. So, I just got done speaking with your boyfriend, okay? Do you want the house to be released to him?
Yeah.
Do you want the car to be released to him?
Everything's to him. He got my keys.
He's fine with all that. I just want to make sure that you're okay with that
Yeah,
because it's yours.
I mean, I ain't got nothing else. That's all I got. So, yeah, he's fine.
Back at the patrol car, officers spoke quietly among themselves. One shook his head. Another officer nodded. A third officer pulled out his phone to show photos he'd taken of the boy's room. The images spoke for themselves. Feces on the floor, feces on the bed, flies covering every surface, dogs caged in waste, snakes abandoned in closets. They stood in silence for a moment. Then one officer spoke what they were all thinking. He was referring to the stepfather, who had been present during the altercation, who lived in the same home, who witnessed the same conditions every single day. But that investigation would come later. For now, the immediate crisis had been addressed. The boy was safe. The mother was in custody. The system had been activated.
At this point, juvie is a favor.
To get him out of the house.
Just to get him out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Honestly, though, I mean, I know it sucks that they gotta take him too, but it'll get him in front of the courts.
Yeah.
With the other charges and shit they have.
Yeah. I'll show it to this court. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it was that bad, you guys were in there and got shot about it, absolutely. Anything for a kid, just kept in that kind of shit right there.
He's got no TV.
Like that?
He's got no toys. He's got no entertainment. He's got poop on his bed, urine and poop everywhere in his room. He has snakes living in his closet. It's disgusting, bro. It's terrible.
I wonder why they can't take that guy too.
The original call had been about a domestic disturbance, mother versus son, an argument over chores that escalated into violence. Officers responded expecting to mediate a conflict and possibly transport an aggressive juvenile to detention. Instead, they found a child who had been living in conditions no human being should endure. A 13-year-old boy sleeping on a bare mattress covered in feces, surrounded by neglected animals, breathing air thick with ammonia and decay. For nearly a year, the officers who responded that day followed protocol. They separated the parties. They gathered evidence. They made arrests. They documented everything. They activated Child Protective Services. They did their jobs. But what they couldn't do was unsee what they had seen, or forget the smell, or erase the image of a child who had been fighting, not because he was violent, but because he was drowning. And nobody had noticed until it was almost too late. The case would move through the courts. Charges would be filed. The boy would receive services. The system would attempt to repair what had been broken. But some things cannot be undone. Some moments stay with you. This was one of them.